Hey, what's up? My name's Samuel Leeds and this is Q&A Sunday. You're in luck because this week I'm going to be answering your property investment questions. So here's how this is going to go. Firstly, if you enjoy my YouTube channel, please smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and turn the notification bell on so you never miss a video. Now, last week I put a video out and there's been so many questions on last week's video, I'm going to go ahead and answer your questions from last week. However, while I'm answering last week's questions, if you have a question right now pop up into your head, or if you've got something that's been bothering you, bugging you, niggling at you for a while around property investment or entrepreneurship, please do comment your question below in the comments, and next Sunday, guess what's going to happen? That's right, I'm going to answer your property investment question next Sunday. So let's see what we've got from last week. Jamie John says, "Hi Samuel, I'm about to buy my first student-let HMO. However, I'm reluctant to go ahead of it due to the coronavirus, as I feel there's a lot of uncertainty around next year's academic year, and I'm not confident it will let out. The estate agent has admitted that the ability to let out properties at the moment is restricted, mainly due to tenants not being able to view properties, etc. Do you think I should go ahead with it? Your thoughts on this will be much appreciated. Thank you." Jamie John, obviously I can't give you advice whether you should or whether you shouldn't go ahead with this particular property because I haven't seen it, I don't know the details. However, what I will say is if it's a student-led property and it's near a university, right now, people aren't going to uni because of lockdown. But is that going to be the case? What you need to think of is that going to be the case in 2-3 months' time when your property completes? Is that going to be the case next year? And the answer is probably not. Probably universities are going to open again, because if they didn't, then it would just be absolutely ridiculous. So I probably wouldn't pull out on the basis that you're not going to be able to find tenants, because I think that you will. In terms of the value, maybe you might want to look at trying to get a little bit of a bigger discount just because property prices are going to drop a little bit this year. But I definitely wouldn't panic, and if it's a good deal, it probably is still worth going ahead with. But as I said, I can't really advise you because I don't know the property, but there's my general thoughts, and I hope that helps. All right, what else we got? Frankie Walton. "When going down the lease option agreement route, how do you calculate the amount that you would be paying to the seller per month?" You ask the seller what they're paying per month. That's basically it. I know in your videos you've been saying that you'll pay their mortgage, but how do you get all that info? You ask them. Literally, you see me on the phone doing this when I did my lockdown property challenge. I'm just going to say, firstly, you talk to them, you make them an offer, and if they say, "Oh, I can't accept that because of my mortgage," I'll say, "Oh, no problem, I understand. What is your mortgage outstanding?" You just ask them the question. And if you feel awkward asking them, they'll feel awkward listening and answering you. But if you don't feel awkward asking, they won't feel awkward answering. So before you start asking personal questions about their finances, you do need to build a little bit of rapport with them first, create a pattern of asking them questions about the house, and then when they start answering the questions about the house, put forward a tentative if would offer. If they can't because of the mortgage, I just ask them the questions. Hope that helps. Good luck, my friend. What else we got? "I get 5% off for right to buy my house. It is worth 516,000 and I can get it for 500,000. Is it worth it?" Nope, I don't think it's worth it. 5% discount is not a big deal. And if you're buying a house that's so expensive to live in as well, I would not recommend doing that. I would use that money that you would have put to buy that house and I would invest it properly, and I would not buy that £516,000 house. Thumbs down from me. Jane Wong. "Hi Samuel, I would like to ask, in case I lose my full-time job in the near future, is there any chance to get a buy-to-let mortgage?" So if you're trying to get a buy-to-let mortgage, your job isn't as important as it is if you're getting a residential mortgage. If you're buying a house to live in, the mortgage companies really care about what your income is and how much you're earning. If you're buying a house to rent out, they care about the house more than they care about you. So your income doesn't have to be high. So if you lose your job, I mean, honestly, I've known people that have got buy-to-let mortgages and their incomes from self-employment has been like $5,000 a year. And they've got buy-to-let mortgages, no problem. So I'm not qualified to give mortgage advice, but my suggestion, Jane, would be to speak to a mortgage broker, find out the situation, but ultimately you have no control necessarily on whether you're going to lose your job or not, so I wouldn't worry about it too much, but definitely speak to a mortgage broker. Hope that helps. What else we got? Drew. Drew loves gaming. Awesome. "Hi Samuel, I love your content and your true inspiration. Thank you very much. Is there geographical locations where lease option agreements work best, and why?" Yeah, there is. Lease option agreements only work on properties where the property owner does not need or can't get the money now. That could be an inherited property, that could be a tired landlord, or very likely a property that's in negative equity. And areas, geographical locations, where properties are in negative equity are areas where the property market has dipped and it's not recovered. So right now in the north of England, there's a lot of areas like that, such as Bradford, Middlesbrough, Newcastle, Sunderland. These areas have all still got lots of properties in negative equity. So you'll find a lot of people wanting to do lease option agreements there. If the property market dips just generally across the UK, it's going to leave a lot of people in negative equity, especially because of the holiday mortgage period that's happened. People's mortgages have got a little bit bigger, and then house prices dropping. There is going to be more negative equity properties, which means that there's going to be more opportunity for lease option agreements across the board, hopefully very soon. Okay, I hope that helped. If you did, comment below. If you guys are enjoying the video, don't forget to smash the like button, leave a nice comment. Don't forget as well, if you have a question that's popping up, even if it's a question, it's an offshoot of one of these questions, just comment it below and I'll do my best to answer your question next Sunday at 7 p.m. Okay, J Woodage. I'm about to buy my first property investment with the view to refinance on a buy-to-let in September time. How do you think the lender's valuations will be impacted by COVID? So, listen, because of COVID, property prices are going to drop a little bit. So what I'll say is if you're doing a buy and then you're planning to refurb and refinance in September time, just make sure that you've got, number one, you've got plenty cushion. So it is going to be possibly downvalued a little bit. So just make sure you've got cushion. Maybe renegotiate. You say you're about to buy your first property investment, maybe renegotiate it a little bit lower. Also make sure that your builder's quotes are absolutely legit, itemized, breakdown. Because if your builder's quote goes high and then your valuation comes low, then that's when things can get a little bit sketchy, especially if you've had to borrow the money from aunties and uncles in the first place and then you can't refinance at what you hope for. However, banks are lending, mortgages are still lending right now. They're not right this second very much because they can't get into the houses, but I can't see that you'll have any issues refinancing because the banks have got lots of money and mortgages are going ahead as normal. So that's that again, like I don't know for 100%, I don't know the property, but that's the general overview of what's happening right now with that strategy, and I hope you found that useful. What else we got? Roger Rodriguez. I know this guy. I love you, Roger. I hope you're well. He says, do you think Section 24 will be scrapped in light of everything going on? I hope so. I mean, I don't know. I'm not holding my breath, but I'll happily sign a petition. Maybe I should head one up. Section 24 does bug me. I think it's a terrible rule, and this is something that basically affects landlords if they own their properties in their personal name, which I do have a lot of properties in my personal name. It's not worth, if you've got properties in your personal name, it's not worth the stamp duty transferring them to a limited company. It's not worth it. You're better off to just keep them in your personal name. And if you've got properties in your personal name, Section 24 is a bit of a tax nightmare. So I hope it will be scrapped in light of everything that's going on. Who knows? Let's see if the government do the right thing. Maybe we should do a petition. Okay, next. I am Sam Fowler. Great to meet you, Sam Fowler. How you doing? I'm in the process of buying my first property investment to live in. Offer was accepted before this pandemic. In your opinion, is it a bad time to buy? I'm back at my parents' after 5 years renting, and if I don't buy now, I'll have to rent again. Haven't signed on the dotted line yet, as I don't know if I should go ahead or not. Thank you for any advice. Sam Fowler, if I'm really honest, I wouldn't go ahead. I would continue renting, and the money that you were going to put down to buy a property to live in, I wouldn't sign. I'd pull out. I'd take on the chin any costs that you've already incurred, and I would use that money to invest in properties smart, wise, in light of the situation. That's what I would do. I rent this house that I live in. I live in a beautiful house. I rent it. You don't have to buy a house to live in, especially in this time. It's the worst time to do that right now. All of the things that I've been teaching for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years are truer now than ever before. So when I used to say things like, don't put your money in the bank because of depreciation, that couldn't be truer right now because they're printing money. When I said rent where you live, couldn't be truer right now. So that's my advice. Okay, next. Lorraine Nixon. Samuel, rent to own must be a fab strategy. Now, would you agree? Yeah, I'd agree. I would agree. All right, Reese Nibs. With lease options, when you say you take over the mortgage, does that mean you have to get one off the bank, or is the mortgage still in the vendor's name but you give them the money to cover it? The mortgage remains in the seller's name. So you take on their existing mortgage, which means that you don't have to apply for a new mortgage, which means that if you've got bad credit or no credit, it doesn't matter because you're just babysitting their mortgage, but it's remaining in their name. and you're going to pay the mortgage company direct, or you're going to pay the seller and then they're going to pay the mortgage company, and then you're going to ask for quarterly statements to make sure that the mortgage is getting paid, because ultimately you have an interest in this house even though you haven't got the title deeds. Hope that helps. Boom shaka. Okay, just one or two more questions. Leave It Out UK says, why not wait for the crash? Everybody using the holiday mortgage will feel it in 3 months' time. The lockdown will be going on till the vaccine comes. What about all the tenants not paying rent? People, this is a bad time to invest. Save all your pennies. Listen, I would have to disagree with you, because I think that whilst some of what you're saying is true, I don't agree with your conclusion, especially if you're smart. If you don't know what you're doing, then maybe it would be a bad time to invest, because by now, property prices are going to go down. However, the problem with saying, I'm just going to wait for this crash, is what normally happens is people that are waiting as it's crashing, and then you only realize when it starts going up again, and normally when it goes up, it shoots. So the mindset of what you're saying right now, and listen, you do what you want to do. All I can give you is my opinion, and I've been investing in property now for over a decade. I've seen the recession of 2008 crash. I was buying at that time. I started buying in 2009. Crash 2008. It reminds me of when I started investing. What you're saying right now, that's what everyone was saying. So I get it. A lot of people think like this, but the problem is when property prices are going down, you want to be buying as they're going down. And you want to be saying, look, they're going down, and using that, I'll screenshot what you just said, and I'll use that as an excuse to get really cheap properties. I'll say, this is what people are saying. If the newspapers say this, people are, the newspapers are saying it's a bad time to invest. I'm like, yes! And I'll use that newspaper clipping, I'll use comments like this to then get really good deals below market value. And then property prices might go down a little bit more, but then what happens is they shoot up. And what happens is people like you that are saying, no, wait and save your pennies, you'll be working really hard in your job, you'll be saving up your pennies best you possibly can, and then suddenly prices shoot, and then you go, missed it. And then you've got a few thousand in your bank that you've been working really hard, and I'll wait for the next. And this is exactly what most people do. Most people just work really, really hard in their jobs, save their pennies, while they're printing money, and the money's becoming worth less, and then suddenly things happen, and then meanwhile, people over here are just making the most of the situation and getting rich. So I would entirely disagree. However, what I would agree is that property prices are going to go down. So as long as you're aware that that's going to happen throughout this year, and you buy for the long term, and you follow the golden rules, which is buying below market value, buying for cash flow purposes, not capital appreciation, and pushing up the value of property prices, pushing up the value of your property, knowing how to push the value up. It's a very, very good time. So that's my opinion. And let me know what you think though, guys. Comment below. Last question. Enz Fizzy says, how do you find the true market value of a property without using mouse price? Okay, I would always use mouse price, but you just look at what's selling in the street, look at what's sold. See what's selling, see what's sold. Even on Rightmove, you can look at house prices, sold house prices, see what's actually selling in the street, see what's sold in the street over the last 3 years within quarter of a mile of the house, and start doing like-for-like comparables. That's just exactly what the valuers do, and guess what? You have the same software. So guys, hope you found this useful. This is Q&A Sunday. Comment your questions below. Smash the like button. It will help the algorithm so more people will see the videos. And also, if you commented below, which you should have done, don't forget to subscribe and turn the notification bell on, because if it's not, then I might answer your question next Sunday and you won't even know I answered your question. You won't even know I addressed you. So subscribe, turn the notification bell on. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.